Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in and watching today. I want to talk to you about a couple of different ways to look at the subject of grace. Some incorrect ways, in my opinion, and some correct ways. Some people think that grace is a doctrine, one of many doctrines that has to be balanced out with other things. I don't look at it that way. To me, grace is everything. Everything that God does and is part of His grace. And grace, of course, is God unconditionally loving us, God unconditionally forgiving us, God unconditionally accepting us, God unconditionally including us, God unconditionally choosing to live inside of us forever, and God unconditionally making us right with Him forever. All of that is an outflow of His unconditional love. So everything there is, any kind of other doctrine or tradition or sacrament or whatever that you might come up with, to me, has to be flow from His unconditional grace and be a part of that to really understand who He is, what He's all about, and who we are. Now, another couple of different ways to look at grace. One is to look at what grace does for us, and that's absolutely wonderful. And we have to know that. We got to know what grace does for us, what it means to us. But I would argue that equally important, and for us, and even more important for how everything else in the world works out, is our taking the grace that we've been given and then giving it out to other people. Not just people we like, not just people that are easy to get along with, not just people in our family, not just people in our neighborhood, not just people that look like us and believe like us and think like us, but doing actually what God does. And what God does, what He has already done and continues to do and always will do, is to give His unconditional grace to everyone. Now, He does that to us. Most people don't know that. We don't even know the full extent of that ourselves. We're growing in grace and we're going to learn more. We are learning more and more every day of how good and how big and how magnificent God is, which means how big and wonderful and magnificent His grace is. So here's what I want you to think about with me today. We're all growing in grace. Think about us doing exactly what God does to us. Giving unconditional grace that covers everything to everyone. Starting at home, in our family, our extended family, our neighbors, our relatives, our friends, our co-workers, people who have different lifestyle preferences than we do, people who have different customs than we do, people who look differently than we do, people who have different political beliefs than we do. Now, this doesn't mean we agree with everybody. We can't, because we have different ways of seeing things and different opinions and stuff. It does mean, however, that the way that we relate to one another, as far as it depends on us, we can't control what the other person does, but as far as it depends upon us, that we give without even asking, we give grace to people. That means we forgive people unconditionally, no strings attached, without them even asking us. We accept people and we include people unconditionally. We don't say, well, you can't come to our church and I can't be friends with you and I can't come over to your house and have dinner because your lifestyle, your sexual lifestyle is different than mine, or your political lifestyle is different than mine, or whatever. No, we just extend grace to everyone and everybody. We have a pretty good example of that. That would be Jesus, because that's what He did. The religious leaders of the day, the establishment, did not like that at all, because He honored, He ate with, He drank with, He hung out with, He laughed and had fun with people of other political parties, people of different religions, people of different faiths, people of different lifestyles, people who were called the worst sinners of the day. Those are the people that Jesus hung out with. So what if we did that? What if we did? What if we just extended unconditional love and grace to everyone? Again, unconditional, with no strings attached, no buts, no limits, no conditions. What if we just did that? You know what if we did? It would be like heaven on earth. And people would see what Jesus Father, the only true God, is really like. they would see Christ in you and me, and they would be attracted to that, I guarantee you. Something for me and all of us to think about today. Thanks for watching.